The Los Angeles Lakers are looking frighteningly good for the 2025 NBA season. I mean, over this offseason, they have traded for some very, very good players. They have drafted some young, potentially blossoming superstars, and I mean, it looks like LeBron hasn't taken a single step down, and he might have even got better, along with other veterans on their roster like Anthony Davis. I mean, at this point, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, all of those guys, D'Lo, and you know what? I think that this team has a solid shot to compete for the 2025 NBA championship. And in this video, I'm going to break down why I think that and how they're going to achieve that. Let's get right into it. But before I get too deep into this, let's talk about their offseason moves. Now, they did have a good amount of player moves, such as drafting. I think they drafted Dalton Connect, and of course, you've got Bronny James now being on the team, which was pretty crazy. That was still just unbelievable to witness. I mean, LeBron and Bronny playing is going to be crazy. But one thing that they did, which is definitely going to be more substantial to the team, is signing JJ Redick. Yes, that's correct. The same JJ Redick that was a knockdown three-point shooter over his career and quite literally played against LeBron around 10 times. They are now on the same team, but of course JJ Redick is the head coach. And honestly, this might be extremely good for the Lakers because they've proved in the past that they don't need a really good head coach to do great. Like the 2020 run, they didn't have a great head coach. I mean, they had decent, but the whole staff back then, it wasn't really good, and it was more the players just connecting with each other. And by those players, I especially mean LeBron James, because he has proven that he can quite literally coach a team. Because he did it 2 years ago. Just watch this clip that resurfaced online about a month ago of LeBron saying this to Darvin Ham.
Listen, I got it. Hey, give me the board. Give me the board. Give me the board. Give me the board. I got it.
I mean, the guy can literally do everything. He can coach, he can become the greatest player in NBA history. He is just a freak. I mean, LeBron, he's definitely the GOAT, and this team, I mean, the Lakers team isn't particularly strong. While they used to have a lot of veterans, especially I'm going back to that 2020 run because it was just so great. They had Dwight Howard. They had a ton of old but good players. Now there are a lot of young guys. I mean, if you think about who's on the roster, your mind's probably going to go to around 5, maybe 6 main players. You've obviously got LeBron, Anthony Davis, Rui, Austin Reeves, and D'Lo. Some people might like to add Jared Vanderbilt or Gabe Vincent on that list, but to be totally honest, they weren't all that good last season. It was mainly those 5 starters, and that's really what led to a lack of playoff success. They just didn't have enough players that could contribute to the team. However, with the pickup of Dalton Connect from the NBA draft, and by the way, he's been looking amazing in the summer league in all of his workouts. They still have Christian Wood, they have Cam Reddish, and of course Max Christie will keep developing. Alongside that, I mean, having Jackson Hayes, that's never a bad piece to have on your roster. And I mean, while this team doesn't have the most experience, and crazy that I'm saying that with LeBron and AD on one roster, I'm saying that they don't have experience, but frankly, they don't. I mean, if you look at last season's stats, it's not looking too hot for the Lakers unless someone steps up. But I do think that someone will step up because last season, LeBron led the team in points, assists, and steals, while AD led in rebounds and blocks. However, D'Lo kinda sucked last season, and I say that completely unbiased. He just sucked. He didn't shoot efficiently. He was, yeah, he just wasn't good. D'Lo shot 45% from the field and 41% from 3 last season with below average free throw shooting. Honestly, that's not what you want from your third option. However, I have a feeling that this is bounce back season. They kind of need him right now, which means he'll be in a bigger role. And another player who will be in a bigger role is Austin Reeves. Last season, he averaged 16, 5.5, and 4. Now, yes, those numbers are pretty good, but I only expect them to go up from here. Most people forget that his leap to, I mean, not stardom, he's definitely not a star, but leap to good playerdom was only 2 seasons ago. He hasn't really had time to develop, and I mean, his defense hasn't been great the past couple of seasons, but it's definitely going to improve now that he's had a whole offseason to work on it. And another player who I think will massively improve defensively is Rui Hachimura, because while he has already shown that he can be an extremely good lockdown defender who doesn't turn the ball over often, I think he'll only improve from here. I mean, he's 28 years old, he's nearing his prime, if not in his prime, and I think there's nowhere to go but up from him. And now to talk a bit more about the rookies on the roster, Bronny James and of course Dalton Knecht. I've already touched on them a bit, but I just want to talk about them a bit more. I don't think that Bronny James will get much playing time, if at all. Now, that sounds a bit ridiculous. Like, wait, didn't they use a draft pick on him? Isn't he LeBron's son? Isn't he supposed to play with LeBron? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really show that he could be great in the summer league, and he will probably only mainly get garbage time reps, if we're being completely honest. But the other yin to his yang, Dalton Knecht, will definitely get a lot of playing time this upcoming season. 6'5", 204 pounds, and the 17th pick out of Tennessee. I mean, the Lakers don't really need guards, but at the very same time, they need talent. And he is talented. I mean, the guy last season was the 8th leading, or not even last season, this season in the NBA Summer League. He was the 8th leading scorer. He averaged 21, 5, and 2 on extremely efficient shooting splits. The guy might be one of the better rookies to come out of this draft class, and honestly, I cannot believe that he fell this far. Doesn't really make sense. He's also shown that he can explode for a lot of points in his college career, where he dropped 40 against Kentucky during March Madness. And I mean, he was a 2024 first team All American unanimously. He was also the SEC Player of the Year unanimously, and on the Julius Erving Award honoree list. I mean, those are some accomplishments right there, if you ask me. The guy was one of the best players in college, and he fell all the way to the Lakers at the 17th pick. They will definitely massively utilize him this season in order to build their way to a championship run, which I don't think that they'll face much. I mean, aggression towards, because the Eastern Conference of the NBA is looking more stacked than ever, but the Western Conference, I mean, it's looking a bit weaker this season. And of course, I have a ton of videos where I break all that down, so just click on the screen to see what YouTube thinks is the best video for you. And I'll see you guys in that one. Peace.